So I do think there's a thing where all of a sudden, when you're on the hook for the electricity bill, all of a sudden it's like, do I need this fucking light on? Maybe not. Maybe I'll turn it off. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like you know it in the sense that like it's a thing, but you've never experienced it yourself. So it's different. You've never gotten. You know that we pay for electricity, okay? But you've never sat there, opened the bill, and been like, "Whoa, $300 for the fucking month." It's like, yo, we better pull that Christmas decorations down, motherfucker. Hell no, we gonna be dark as a motherfucker over here. Okay? We're gonna start carrying around motherfucking candles again. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no fucking way we're paying $300 to $400 for electricity next month. Oh hell no. I'ma tape the breaker box shut. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, that was a little exaggerative. My bill, especially in California, you'll get up to like $400 or $500 in the summer. So honestly, I opened up a $300 bill. I was like, it was a little light this month. Cool. Casual Exchanges podcast, where most of the time we are going to try to walk through thinking about novel, everyday, normie problems. But this is going to be a lot like those super rare coffee beans that they pull out of like elephant shit. Okay, well, sometimes you get those rare coffee beans. Other times it's just a pile of elephant shit. Welcome in. Oh, I'm struggling with this one. I'm never going to charge my child for living with me. I think this is potentially bad. I can absolutely think of different situations and stuff like that where like you're just trying to help somebody out and get back on their feet and stuff like that, and so you don't charge them. Okay, like yeah, totally fine. But just like as a blanket statement to say like I would never charge my child for living with me. It's like you okay, but like you need to have some ways, some sort of system in place to help your child understand like money and finance and budgeting and working with like expenses. You know what I mean? This is something that I see as a struggle for people who kind of make the shift, who like lived with their parents a long time and then like eventually end up moving out, right? Is that like they are not adapted and they're not used to living under quote unquote like those constraints of having to pay bills. They didn't have to do it, and so they used to just work 40 hours a week to blow their entire fucking paycheck on fun stuff. You know what I mean? The PS5, the new car payment, the fucking weed, like all this shit that they would just do to have fun, you know, and just vibing and living their best life because they were living off mommy and daddy. And then all of a sudden, the real world hits them at 25 to 30 because that's when they moved out, and it's like, oh man, that's not fun to do. I would much rather just like start charging a little bit of rent and helping them understand the fact that look, at some point, look, this is my electric bill. This is what you would be liable for if you were paying bills on this fucking property. Okay, I do think, again, I don't entirely disagree, but I don't entirely agree. I think you do need to have some system in place to help people build those habits, because if not, a lot of people just start out the gate really financially irresponsible and illiterate, and there's a lot of fucking growing pains with that, man. Let's see what we think. As soon as I hit 18, I had to start paying rent at home. I think it was quite normal for millennials growing up as a way to learn responsibility. I think that's fair. I get it, but for some reason, I found it quite insulting, and I promised myself I will never charge my child to live with me. Again, like you're just going based off of like vibes, I guess. I found it quite insulting that you had to pay rent in a place where you were living. What the fuck are we talking about? Do you feel offended when your landlord asks you for the rent? What? Again, I think time and place is what I'm going to say. But again, especially like early on, there has to be something. There has to be something that's helping them establish these habits, because if not, you're just fucking them over in the long run. Okay? Unless you're just going to continue to take them back in whenever they go broke and can't afford their shit, you're just going to fucking bail them out financially, and then they're going to move back in. It's like fine if you want to do that, but like you're keeping your child a child. You know what I mean? You're not doing them any favors. And if you die tomorrow, they will be fucked. 18 is quite young, but I have a 40-year-old brother-in-law and 36-year-old sister-in-law who have never left their parents' house and don't contribute financially, while my mother and father-in-law sometimes struggle. Oh my god. Okay, first of all, this is fucked, bro. This is crazy. 40 years old, Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get off your ass, please, for the love of Jesus. Okay. I should preface this with I was actually pretty fortunate. Like my parents, I paid when I first graduated and I got into like JC. Um, my dad would charge, he charged me like a couple $100 or something that I paid out of like the financial aid money that I got. It wasn't anything crazy. I don't even remember like what I paid, but it was something like a couple $100 um, out of the financial aid money, and that was pretty much like my rent for like the semester. Um, and then I moved in with another relative, and I paid a couple $100 like a month. Like I would pretty much pay for like the Costco runs and stuff. So again, very fortunate that these guys weren't just out the gate like I'm gonna need 500, $700 a month or whatever. Which I mean, I probably could have paid because it's not like I had a ton of expenses or anything like that. But I was pretty fortunate. Everybody was pretty flexible with me. Okay. But again, I also wasn't like overly irresponsible with my money. Is seemingly important. I definitely wasted some of it on like video game shit, but for the most part, I would go long periods of time without actually spending money. I wasn't the kind of person to go out. I wasn't the kind of person to like buy new shit. Um, I pretty much wore at the job I worked. Like we had like uniform kind of stuff, and I wore the same pair of pants. I had like three pairs of pants, maybe like three shirts, and the shirts I literally wore until I think my girlfriend eventually like threw them out. And then the pants, they were literally ripping, like at the crotch and then like at the pockets. And I still wore them. I literally wore them until until like my girlfriend threw that shit out. I did not throw anything away, and I really didn't buy anything new unless I really needed it. Um, so again, just all that to preface this conversation here. Yes, I think I'd let my kids live at home for a reasonable amount of time if they are working or going to school. My oldest is 16. If he lived at home until, say, 25 to get on his feet, I think that's reasonable. After that, I might consider charging rent, but saving it in an account for him. But I actually like this approach. I actually like this approach where, like, yeah, you charge him, but it's like if you don't actually need the money for the expenses and stuff like that, put it to the side in an account for him. You know what I mean? And then they get that money back anyways. I wouldn't tell them that. You know what I mean? Um, I would have it like as a happy surprise at the end, but um, not the massage parlor kind, just to be clear. But yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's reasonable. I think that's again. Am I gonna let my kid live at home until she's 25? I don't know about that one, Chief. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I mean, good for you. I think it depends a lot on the kid too. If the kid is stressed and struggling and trying really hard to launch, that's quite different than a kid who's just hanging out in the room all day and inspired to nothing. Okay, but like if they're living at home, what are they stressed and struggling with? You know what I mean? Like we have to ask that. It's it's not money, right? Like they have little to no fucking expenses. So it's like, why are they stressed and struggling? Kind of weird. Jesus. Just keep scrolling. Just keep scrolling. Millennial. Red flag. And just to be clear, I say that every time. I'm also a millennial. Okay, so I'm not just shitting on millennials as some fucking boomer or something. These are my people. Okay. And they probably shit on me too because I fucking disagree with them so much. I only ever heard of two situations in which 18-year-olds had to pay rent to their parents. Really? They grew up in poverty and had to contribute to the house because they could legally work for full-time jobs. They were not gainfully employed or seeking higher education, so their parents had an ultimatum. Sure. There has to be this thing, and there always used to be there used to be like the memes and the jokes about like when dad's not home, and it's like every fucking light in the house is on, every TV is turned on, the fridge is open, all this shit, and then he gets home and he's going around behind people turning off everything behind them. You know what I mean? And I think there's some truth to that. Okay, I turn shit off. Like I'm sitting here. If I wasn't recording, I'd be sitting in the fucking dark. Just to be clear. Okay, but like I'm not leaving every light on in the fucking house. Okay, versus when I get home after work, especially like in wintertime when it gets dark a little earlier, every fucking light on in the house. Okay, every fucking light. The rooms upstairs, nobody's in there. Lights are on. It's like, oh, okay, that's fucking weird. Every light downstairs, fucking on. Laundry room, on. Nobody's in there. Bathrooms, on. Like, it's like, what the fuck are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing right now? Okay, so I do think there's a thing where all of a sudden, when you're on the hook for the electricity bill, all of a sudden it's like, do I need this fucking light on? Maybe not. Maybe I'll turn it off. You know what I mean? And I just think that's going back to the first thing I said, where it's like you have to start building these habits and this framework so that they start to understand these things. You know what I mean? There are costs, money, dollar sign costs associated with some of these things that you may not fully understand yet if you're just 17 or 18. You know what I mean? It's like you know it in the sense that like it's a thing, but you've never experienced it yourself. So it's different. You've never gotten, you know that we pay for electricity, okay, but you've never sat there, opened the bill, and been like, whoa, $300 for the fucking month? It's like, yo, we better pull that Christmas decorations down, motherfucker. Hell no, we gonna be dark as a motherfucker over here. Okay? We're gonna start carrying around motherfucking candles again. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no fucking way we're paying $300 to $400 for electricity next month. Oh hell no. I'ma tape the breaker box shut. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, that was a little exaggerative. My bill, especially in California, you'll get up to like $400 or $500 in the summer. So honestly, I opened up a $300 bill. I was like, no, it was a little light this month. Cool. Octane 2100. Ooh, we like it. I'm about to start charging rent to my 18-year-old for this very reason. Since turning 18, he's quit his job, gone on several week-long vacations with extended family that they pay for, hangs out with his girlfriends, hang out at his girlfriend's house, but comes back to eat since they won't feed him. On any other day, it's video games for 10 hours a day. Oh, fucking based, bro. I love that. Keep hearing, oh, I put in applications today, but only does the bare minimum, never follows up on them. My wife doesn't help with the situation and keeps defending his bad attitude and behavior, causing a rift between us. I don't know how it's going to go when I do start asking for rent, but I'm done dealing with a freeloader. Based. Okay, based, but also I can... I'm going to push back a smidge on this. Again, at the end of the day, like, our kids are just like most individuals. They're products of their environments, all right? So, like, maybe it's everybody else around him with these kind of freeloader tendencies or building these freeloader habits, okay? But, like, also we have to look at, like, okay, what can you do to combat that? And how can you help on that front? And it's not, the solution is not always just going to be, like, everybody else is being easy on him, so you fucking drill down on that fucking kid. You know what I mean? Like, it can't always be the case. It has to be, because that is just going to cause distance between you and him, and it's going to pull him closer to the other people that are building bad habits. Okay, so it's this really tricky tightrope that you have to walk, where you still have to be in good, not in a way where you're like, you know, kissing your kid's ass or anything like that, but in a way where you're engaging. This is where, like, it helps to have like either habits or hobbies with your kid, like things that you and your kids like to do, some sort of relatability. You know what I mean? Because you have to have that rapport with your kid, or else your opinion means less. You know what I mean? And that's just the reality. It's just always going to be like, oh well, dad's cheating on me again. You know what I mean? I got to go run to mom. So you have to find a way. You have to find a way to build that. You and this don't take this shit the wrong way, okay? But you have to build his opinion of you. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like, if he looks up to you, he respects you. You know what I mean? Then he's not going to want to do things, or he's going to think twice about doing things that kind of make him look like a loser in your eyes. You know what I mean? Okay, so that's part of it. Okay, so that's why I would say, what are things you guys could do together to get him kind of out, to bring you guys kind of closer, to make him more productive, but also continue to build a relationship. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's something simple, like, and again, I just want to be clear. I know nobody is going to take this approach. Nobody is going to fucking agree with me. Everybody's going to be like, yeah, you're going to have to do more fucking work for, you know, just to do this, but, like, I don't have time to do this kind of shit. Like, shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here. Okay? What I would say, my actual kind of thought and response to this is like, okay, I would consider actually maybe not in California, because there's an LLC fee in California, so I'd have to pay fucking $800 to start up an LLC. But, like, start like a, you know, quote unquote, like, small business, or have him go around and start asking to mow people's lawns or something like that. You know what I mean? Something super simple like that, to get him out of the house, to get him knocking on people's doors, something like that. And it doesn't have to be mowing lawns. It could be painting fences. It could be cleaning gutters. Something like that to kind of a little more on the entrepreneurial side where, because maybe he is having trouble finding a job or something like that. Okay, so like what are the other options? Like there are other options to make money. You know what I mean? So I would be looking for ways to get us both out of the house, get him shaking hands, get him meeting people, get him talking to people, and get him, more involved with like the earning process. It's like, okay, let's find another way for you to make money. You know what I mean? Something just happened in my laundry room. I don't know what. But anyways, that would be my approach because again, I understand your frustration, but I also understand coming from, I'm a father myself. My approach cannot just be like, okay, everybody's being too nice to my kid. Everybody's making it too easy for my kid. So I have to fucking drill down on them. You know what I mean? That can't be the case. It has to be the case that like, okay, I do employ like my own approach that isn't going to be as soft and stuff like that. But still in a way that's not going to, damage a relationship. I don't know. It is pretty interesting. If you're living with me after high school graduation, they need to be working or going to school. That's the only stipulation. Like, and just to be clear, I think that that's fucking reasonable. Okay? Why would that not be a stipulation? Why would it be the case that like, okay, so you graduated from high school, you're now legally an adult, you can go to job, you can get a job or go to the military or go to continued education. But if you don't want to do anything and you just want to keep living here, like I'll also just keep paying for all your shit no matter what. Like what? What the fuck are we talking about? No, it shouldn't be that way. And then there's another super silly thing. Yeah. Where will your money go when you die? Are you somebody who says there will be no inheritance because I'll spend it all, it's mine? Why did you have kids? Like, are we under the impression that you only have kids to give them a fucking inheritance? Like, I think I can actually feel brain cells leaving. Seriously, did you just have kids for the sake of it? Again, like if you don't want to give your kids all of your money, like you shouldn't have had kids? Is that your fucking argument? By accident? Was it social pressure? It sure sounds like you wanted to have kids, not start a family. Again, all of this, I actually want to give this guy the brown star for the most dog shit post I've read today. Absolute fucking nonsense. It's not clear to me that when you decide to have kids that you have to pay for everything or you have to give them all of your money. Okay? And in fact, I don't think that's the case. I'm sorry. Like if whoever that fucking triggers. Okay? No. After your parents should be responsible for helping you trying to understand the world, for helping you develop a mental framework that you can utilize to solve problems, for you to use that mental framework to help regulate kind of your emotions and stuff like that, and better understand that, to help you be able to delineate between what's illegal, what's frowned upon, and what brings actual consequences. Okay, like your parents are responsible for a lot. Paying for everything is not fucking one of them. Okay? Like, sure, food, shelter, education, all that shit, yes. And like some shit to like make you feel good sometimes. You know what I mean? But like, are they obligated to pay for everything? Absolutely not. Fuck you. Orange Journey, like you might actually, I have to wonder, like if you are actually like this fucking brain dead in real life. Dumbest shit I've ever seen. And again, like, oh, you didn't want to start a family because you're not going to give your fucking kids all of your money as an inheritance. Like, you are just so fucking stupid. This guy's obviously just salty that his parents were like, yo, you got to pay rent or get the fuck out. And then he called them on their bluff and then got kicked out. And now he's like, wow, they just never fucking loved me. It's like, bro, you're 35. Get the fuck out of here. Actual fucking brain dead fucking person right here. Right here. Yes. Part of being a good parent is teaching your kid how to care for themselves, and their actions have consequences. At 18, they become adults and are subject to the adult world, should experience an introduction to adult pressures. Anything less than that is inadequate parenting. Expecting your newly adult child to contribute to society and care for themselves is not a parallel to an inheritance. Apples to oranges. If you love your children, you teach them, not enable them. It's been a while since we had a mind-blown moment here. But yeah, praise God that there was some neural activity after that previous absolutely fucking brain dead take. Yes, at the end of the day, and this is I'm almost certain I said it earlier. Okay, like if for whatever reason you're the kind of parent who has to do everything for their kid, pay for everything, never pressure them in any way, and no matter what, they're just always going to be your special little baby, and you would do anything for them, and you're just going to take care of them for their entire lives. Like, okay, I get that. Understand that you are robbing them of opportunities to develop skills that they may need. And once you eventually die, okay, they are going to be worse off for the decisions that you made, okay, because they are going to have no fucking skills, and they're not going to have you there for them to rely on, okay? It is a disservice, okay? You are putting them in this bubble that does not reflect reality. Eventually that bubble will pop, okay? And they will be fucked, okay? But hey, do what you want. They're your kids. And that's all, folks. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you didn't like the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. That way you can talk shit on my next video too, all right?